There comes a time when a soldier must leave his post, a traveler must board his ship, and a bird must leave the nest. The moment of departure is never a surprise to those who are watching, but to those who are asleep, it comes like a thief in the night. My friends, if you have been chosen, then you have also been given a task. A task not to sit idly and wonder when the trumpet will sound, but to be about your business, ready at all times. The wise servant does not wait for the master to knock before he begins to prepare the house. He keeps the lamps burning long before the footsteps are heard at the door. But what does it mean to be ready? It does not mean standing at the window, staring at the horizon, doing nothing else. No, readiness is in the way we live, how we speak, how we act, how we love, how we serve. The man who builds his house on the rock does not fear the coming storm, for his foundation is secure. But the one who builds on the sand, on comfort, on ease, on distractions, will find his house swept away when the waters rise. And make no mistake, the waters will rise, the call will come, the door will open, the exit is near. Not one of us knows the hour, but we all know it will come. Some will be called to leave behind their old lives for a new purpose, a new mission. Others will be called to leave this world entirely. But in both cases, the question is the same. Are you ready? If today were your last day in this place, what unfinished work would you regret? What words left unsaid would weigh on your heart? What mission would remain incomplete? The wise man does not leave his bags unpacked until the moment of departure. He prepares now, so when the time comes, he can go without fear, without regret, without hesitation. So, chosen ones, wake up. The night is far spent. The morning is near. The world will tell you there is time, time to waste, time to delay, time to live as if the journey will never end. But wisdom says otherwise. Those who are truly chosen will not be caught off guard. They will hear the whisper before the trumpet sounds, see the signs before the gate swings open. And when that moment comes, they will rise, not in fear, but in readiness, not in hesitation, but in certainty. For they knew all along that this was never their home. Get ready, the exit is near. To be chosen is not merely a matter of honor or privilege, it is a call to preparation. Many long to be among the chosen, believing that selection alone secures their place in greatness, but they forget that to be chosen is to be entrusted with responsibility. A soldier who is called to the battlefield cannot rely on the fact that he has been selected. He must ensure that his armor is strong, his sword is sharp, and his heart is steady. A runner chosen for a race does not stand at the starting line in ease. He has trained, disciplined himself, and made sacrifices to be ready when the race begins. Throughout history, those who were chosen for great things often endured the greatest trials before their moment arrived. A man called to leadership does not suddenly become wise at the moment of his appointment. A woman called to serve does not suddenly develop strength when the need arises. Preparation is the silent work done in the background, long before the spotlight shines. It is the deep roots beneath the surface that allow the tree to stand when the storm comes. Without preparation, being chosen is meaningless, for the one who is unprepared will falter when the time of testing arrives. Consider the story of a kingdom searching for a new ruler. The king sends for young men from across the land, each of whom desires the throne. They arrive in their finest robes, speaking grand words of ambition. But one among them comes in simple garments. When asked why he did not adorn himself like the others, he replies, "Because I have spent my days not in dressing for the role, but in learning its burdens. I have studied the laws, walked among the people, and strengthened my body for the battles ahead." The king smiles, for he knows that this is the one who is truly ready. The others were eager to be chosen, but only one had prepared. The greatest dangers come not to those who are ignored, but to those who are chosen yet unready. A house built in haste without a strong foundation will collapse when the weight of responsibility is placed upon it. Many dream of being lifted to higher places, yet when the moment arrives, they are crushed under the weight of expectation. They thought the call itself was enough, but they forgot that the call demands readiness. If a man is entrusted with a great treasure but does not know how to guard it, he will lose it before he even understands its value. If a soldier is given a sword but has never trained to use it, he will be defeated the moment he faces an enemy. Preparation is not always glamorous, nor is it easy. It often happens in solitude, in discipline, in daily choices that seem small but shape the future. A student who prepares diligently for his studies may not see the rewards immediately, but when the time of testing comes, he will not fear. A builder who measures carefully and lays each brick with care may not see a finished house for many months, but when it is complete, it will stand firm. The chosen ones are not only those who are called, but those who have made themselves ready long before the call ever came. It is a mistake to think that readiness begins when the opportunity arrives. Readiness is forged in the unseen moments, in the quiet sacrifices, in the unseen discipline of the soul. A warrior does not wait for war to train. He sharpens his skills daily so that when the battle comes, he moves with instinct and certainty. A wise man does not wait until he is asked to lead before he studies wisdom. He seeks understanding long before he is given authority. Those who are chosen are not made ready at the last moment. They are revealed as ready because they have already prepared. Yet many deceive themselves, believing that when the time comes, they will rise to the occasion. They tell themselves that when the door opens, they will be strong enough to walk through it. But strength is not formed in a moment. It is built over time. A man who has never lifted a weight cannot suddenly bear a great burden. A mind that has never been disciplined cannot suddenly produce wisdom. A heart that has never been tested will fail when the test comes. There is a danger in desiring to be chosen without being willing to prepare. It is easy to admire the victories of others without seeing the work that made them possible. The victorious general was once a lowly soldier who trained tirelessly. The skilled musician was once a child who spent countless hours in practice. The wise leader was once a student who studied in obscurity. Those who seek greatness without preparation will find only disappointment. The position may be given to them, but they will not have the strength to hold it. To be chosen is to be entrusted, and to be entrusted is to be responsible. There are those who receive a gift and waste it because they were not ready to bear it. There are those who are given opportunities but squander them because they did not prepare for them. It is not the call that determines success, but the readiness of the one who is called. A farmer does not wait until harvest to begin working. He labors in the fields long before, knowing that if he does not, the season of reaping will come and he will have nothing. The chosen ones must understand that their selection is not the beginning of glory, but the beginning of duty. A king is crowned not for his own sake, but for the people he serves. A warrior fights not for his own name, but for the victory of his nation. A messenger carries news not for his own benefit, but because others are waiting for the message. To be chosen is to carry a weight, and the only way to carry it well is to be prepared. And so those who are chosen must ask themselves daily, am I ready? If the call came today, would I be strong enough? If the door opened now, would I be wise enough to walk through it? If the burden were placed upon me, would I have the strength to bear it? These are not questions to ask when the moment arrives, for by then it is too late. They are questions to ask now, in the quiet, in the unseen hours, in the places where preparation happens. The exit is near. The moment of proving will come. The call is not only for those who desire it, but for those who have made themselves ready. To be chosen is not simply to be set apart, it is to be found, prepared when the time comes. People often think of an exit as an ending, as if to leave something means it is over, finished, or lost. But those who understand the deeper rhythms of life know that an exit is not the conclusion of a story, it is the movement from one chapter to another. A traveler leaving one land does not disappear into nothingness, he arrives in another place. A seed that ceases to be a seed does not cease to exist, it becomes a tree. The caterpillar that leaves its cocoon does not die, it becomes a butterfly. The idea that an exit is a finality is an illusion, born from the fear of change and the inability to see beyond the immediate moment. In reality, every exit is a transition, a passage from one state of being to another, from one purpose to a higher one, from one season to the next. Those who cling to the present as if it will last forever are often the ones most unprepared when the exit comes. They build their lives on things that were never meant to be permanent, holding on to comfort, routine, and familiarity as if they can keep change from arriving. But change does not ask for permission. The sun does not pause in the sky simply because someone wishes for more daylight. The tides do not stop because a man stands at the shore and commands the waves to be still. The wise do not resist the exit. They recognize it as a natural and necessary part of the journey. They understand that what lies beyond is not an end, but a new beginning, often greater and more meaningful than what was left behind. To exit one place is to enter another. This truth is evident in every part of life. The child exits the safety of the womb, not into death, but into a world full of light and air, a world greater than the one he knew before. The student leaves behind his studies, not into emptiness, but into the reality of the world where his knowledge is put to use. The worker retires from his labor not into purposelessness, but into a new phase where wisdom and experience take on new meaning. Even the setting of the sun is not an ending. It is the transition into the night, which in turn makes way for the dawn. Those who understand this truth do not mourn exits as losses, but embrace them as passages into something greater. Fear grips those who see only what they are leaving, and not where they are going. The traveler who looks back at the land he departs from may hesitate, but the one who fixes his eyes on the horizon moves forward with confidence. Fear of transition is often rooted in an attachment to what is familiar, rather than trust in what is ahead. People fear leaving a job because they cannot see the opportunity waiting beyond it. They fear leaving a place because they do not yet know what the next land holds. They fear moving forward in life because they have grown comfortable with the way things are. Yet, every great thing that has ever come to anyone required an exit. No man has ever risen to something greater while clinging desperately to what is lesser. Even in the natural world, transitions are woven into the very fabric of existence. The river does not stay in one place, it flows. The seasons do not remain fixed, they change. The bird does not remain in the nest forever, it must one day spread its wings. What seems like an end is only a doorway. The caterpillar may fear the cocoon, believing it is the end of all it has known, but if it refuses to enter, it will never become what it was meant to be. The tree does not cling to its leaves when autumn comes, for it knows that in shedding them, it prepares for new life in the spring. Likewise, those who resist the exit often resist their own transformation. There is a reason why growth and comfort rarely coexist. Those who wish to rise must be willing to leave the ground. A man who desires to see the stars must be willing to step out of the house and walk into the night. Many desire progress, but few are willing to endure the discomfort of transition. They want to move forward but refuse to let go of the past. They want to ascend but fear the weightlessness of the unknown. But the truth remains. No one who stays behind ever reaches what lies ahead. Greatness requires leaving. Every leader who has ever shaped history had to step out from among the crowd. Every warrior who has ever won a battle had to leave behind the safety of the camp. Every hero who has ever answered a call had to step out of the ordinary into the unknown. The exit is not the loss of something, it is the proof that something greater is calling. Those who are called must not fear the departure, for it is not the end of the road, only the beginning of a new one. Many resist the exit because they believe they are not ready. They tell themselves that when the time is right, they will move. But time does not wait for a man to feel ready. The river does not pause for the swimmer to gather his courage. The wind does not cease blowing until the sailor is prepared to set sail. Readiness is not a matter of comfort, but of trust. Those who understand that the exit is a transition, not an end, do not wait until they feel ready. They step forward because they know they were never meant to stay where they are. Every departure holds within it the promise of arrival. The door that closes behind you is not the only door in existence. Another one is already open ahead. The problem is that many people stand at the threshold, mourning the closed door, unable to see the open one before them. They fix their eyes on what is no longer accessible, failing to recognize that what lies ahead is far greater than what they have left behind. The chosen ones do not mourn the exit, they anticipate it. They know that staying too long in one place can become a prison. They understand that remaining in a comfort zone for too long leads to stagnation. They do not see the exit as something to be feared, but as something to be embraced. They know that transition is the means by which they become what they were meant to be. Life itself is full of exits, each one leading to a new beginning. The small exits prepare us for the greater ones. Leaving behind childish ways prepares one for the maturity of adulthood. Letting go of temporary pleasures prepares one for lasting fulfillment. Moving beyond fear prepares one for courage. Every exit teaches a lesson. Every departure strengthens character, and every transition carries the potential for transformation. To see an exit as an ending is to misunderstand the very nature of growth. The caterpillar may believe it is perishing when it enters the cocoon, but in truth it is becoming what it was always meant to be. Those who trust the process of transition do not fear what they leave behind. They move forward, knowing that what lies ahead is worth the journey. Readiness is not something that happens in a moment of urgency. It is something that is built over time through daily choices, small acts of discipline, and unwavering faithfulness in the ordinary moments of life. Many people believe that they will rise to the occasion when the time comes, that they will find strength when they need it, wisdom when it is required, and courage when it is demanded. But strength, wisdom, and courage are not things that appear out of nowhere. They are the result of daily faithfulness, of showing up each day and doing what must be done, even when it seems insignificant, even when no one is watching, even when there is no immediate reward. A soldier does not wait for the day of battle to begin his training. He prepares long before, day after day, sharpening his skills, strengthening his body, and disciplining his mind so that when the moment of testing comes, he does not have to think, he simply acts. A musician does not wait until the concert to practice his instrument. He plays every day, repeating the same notes over and over, so that when the performance arrives, his hands move with effortless precision. A builder does not wait until the storm to strengthen his foundation. He lays brick upon brick with care, knowing that though the wind may not blow today, it will come eventually, and when it does, his house will stand. Faithfulness in the small things prepares a person for the great things. A man who cannot manage the little responsibilities of today will not be able to handle the weight of tomorrow's calling. Many people dream of success, influence, and purpose, but they neglect the small, daily tasks that shape them into the kind of person who can carry those things. They want to be ready for greatness, but are unwilling to be faithful in obscurity. They desire to be strong, but do not discipline themselves when no one is watching. They wish to be wise, but do not seek knowledge in the quiet hours of the day. But it is in those quiet, unseen moments that readiness is formed. A tree does not grow strong overnight. It begins as a small seed, buried in the darkness of the earth. Day by day it takes in water and nutrients, stretching its roots deeper, strengthening itself against the unseen forces of nature. No one notices the growth at first. To the outside world, it seems as if nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, something powerful is taking place. By the time the tree is visible, by the time it stands tall and unshaken by the wind, its strength has already been formed through years of steady, faithful growth. A person is no different. Readiness is not something that suddenly appears. It is cultivated over time, through steady, daily commitment to what is right and true. There is a deception in believing that readiness will come in the moment it is needed. Those who neglect daily preparation often find themselves weak and unsteady when the test arrives. A man who has not built endurance cannot suddenly run a marathon. A warrior who has never practiced his swordplay cannot suddenly defeat an enemy. A leader who has never disciplined his character cannot suddenly bear the weight of responsibility. Readiness is not a switch that can be turned on at will. It is the result of habits, choices, and commitments made long before the moment of need. Many people wait for the right time to begin preparing, believing that one day they will wake up and suddenly be ready for their calling, their purpose, or their destiny. But readiness does not work that way. The right time is never in the future, it is now. The person who wishes to be strong tomorrow must begin strengthening himself today. The person who hopes to be wise in the future must seek wisdom now. Those who wait until the opportunity arrives before they begin preparing will find themselves unprepared when the moment comes. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of daily discipline. The athlete who wins the race does not win because of what he did on the day of the competition. He wins because of what he did every day leading up to it. The scholar who writes a great work does not achieve it in one moment of inspiration. He does so because of the countless hours he spent studying and writing when no one was watching. The leader who rises to greatness does not do so because he suddenly gained wisdom overnight. He has been shaped by years of experience, humility, and learning. The temptation is always to take shortcuts, to seek immediate results without the process of preparation. Many people desire the rewards of readiness without the cost of discipline. They want strength without struggle, wisdom without study, victory without battle. But shortcuts never lead to lasting success. A structure built without a foundation will collapse. A life built without daily discipline will fall apart when pressure comes. Those who neglect daily faithfulness may appear strong for a time, but when the weight of responsibility is placed upon them, they crumble because they have not been formed into people who can endure. It is the small, unseen choices that shape a person into someone who is truly ready. The decision to wake up early and work, even when no one is watching. The choice to act with integrity, even when it would be easier to compromise. The habit of seeking wisdom, even when there is no immediate reward. These are the things that create readiness. A person who is faithful in the small things will be faithful in the great things. A person who is prepared in the quiet moments will be prepared when the test comes. Life does not wait for a person to be ready. Opportunities come, challenges arise, and those who have not prepared themselves will find that the moment of decision does not give them time to prepare. It only reveals whether they were ready or not. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is often not talent or intelligence, but discipline and faithfulness in the unseen moments. Every day is an opportunity to build readiness. Every choice, no matter how small, is shaping a person into either someone who will stand firm or someone who will fall when pressure comes. The people who achieve great things are not those who wait for the moment to prepare. They are those who live in daily faithfulness, knowing that readiness is not something that appears when needed, but something that is built long before the moment arrives.